What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Duck in the Fields. And before we do anything, man, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Say what's up. Say you want to. Say what's on your mind. But hey, today we're getting into that George Carlin Sports. When you guys told me to go check this one out, so that's what we're here doing, man. There was a couple of other sports videos, so I'll probably do another one of him talking about it because it was a couple separate videos, and I wasn't sure which one was which. But so I'll do that soon. So less talking, more watching. And like always, put the mic in the fucking stand. Can't see it, but it's literally right here. But you know, man, all my George Carlin stands out there. Let's get into it.
Water. Didn't hurt to have a little water. Yeah, you know.
Oh shit.
The swallow flipper is working, I'm happy to say. Like to talk a little bit about sports. Sports are very big in this country. I'm a sports fan. That's fine, thank you. Good. Yes, I know a lot of people feel positive about sports. As I say, I'm not a fanatic about sports, but I'm not a casual observer either. I was watching ESPN today, for which I'm thankful, by the way. All sorts of strange things they show on ESPN. Today they had some swimming that was interesting. The women's 200-meter breaststroke. Well, I'd never seen a woman with 200-meter breasts.
I feel like I reacted to a little bit. I've seen this part before. I swear I have. I might have reacted to it. I'm not sure, but isn't it weird how Americans are overly competitive at sports? I feel like out of all the things that we can contribute to the world, like sports is like valued so like high up there. It's possibly number one, but like it's all the way up there. Isn't it? Because I feel like the Democrats versus Republicans things, it's kind of like a sports team. It's like, oh, if you're not on our team, then fuck you. You know? It's weird how we value it like that. Very weird. But just my opinion.
So I was really interested. But I'll tell you this. I'm enough of a sports fan that I suggest I have some rules changes I would like to suggest. I think there are some changes we could make in certain sports that would make them more exciting, you know? Like in football, I would let all 45 guys play at the same time. You know, what's this shit standing around watching the game? Get in there, put a helmet on, and hurt somebody, for Christ's sake, will you? You're not getting paid to watch, and never mind lining up. Just grab the ball and run like a motherfucker, you know? Another thing I would do in football, I would leave the injured on the field. Well, they're always talking about a big war going on out there. Fine, let the Red Cross come around and pick these assholes up. Here's how I'd change basketball. You could make basketball a lot quicker. You know what you do? You have a 2-second shot clock. As soon as that ball is inbounds, get that sumbitch up in the air. I didn't come to watch a game of catch. I'm looking for a 400 or 500 point ball game. I'm a fan. I want 6 overtimes and 1,000 points on the board.
I feel like, okay, maybe shorter shot clock, like 15. I feel like that would be like, it would make the game go really fast. Because it's 24. That's pretty quick. You know, you got to set up your plays and everything like that. But 15, I feel like that's a good, you know, you pass the ball around a couple times. And then next thing you know, you're dunking it, fucking shooting three, whatever. But, yeah. I guess it could be quicker.
Another thing I would do for basketball, at the center court line, for 10 feet on either side of the center court line, I would have a gasoline fire. You talk about the fast break, you'd see the really fast break.
Oh,
here's another suggestion for basketball. I would allow 25 points for any ball that goes in the basket off another guy's head. You'd
very
see some
hard
good
to do
fights during those close games, I'll tell you. And you'd increase the chance for serious injuries. That's what I'm looking for, injuries. That's what I like about sports. I don't care who wins these games. If I want to see winners, I'll watch the Academy Awards. I'm looking for injuries, serious, lifelong, crippling, debilitating injuries. I'm an American. Give me a little violence and I'm a happy guy. Most people won't admit that. Most people won't admit that. They'll say, well, I like the competition. Yeah, like Hiroshima, right? Fuck the competition. I'm looking for a leg in 2 or 3 places. Well, now, getting back to how we can improve these sports and speed them up. You know, baseball needs a little speeding up. You know how you speed up baseball? Everybody gets one swing. That's it, one swing. Fuck you, you're out. Sit down. Come on, let's go. Come on. Sit down. Come on. Let's go.
I feel like for baseball to be America's pastime, it just has to be more entertaining. Like, I'm not a big baseball guy, but like I know people who are, and it's like it's just it's too boring for me, man. I mean, just being in the atmosphere at a baseball game is nice. Like, you got hot dogs, beer, you got the vendors going up and down and shit like that. And you got the little wacky races in between innings and shit like that by the mascots. But I don't know. I just feel like the game itself could be a little bit more entertaining. I just feel like there's a lot of downtime.
Here's another thing to make baseball a lot faster. If the pitcher hits the batter with the ball, batter's out. You hit 27 guys, you got yourself a perfect game, my friend. You get two really good, accurate pitchers out there, and you could be out of that ballpark in 15 minutes. You could be home watching football on TV and see some serious goddamn injuries. One more thing for baseball. Out in the outfield, I would have a series of randomly placed landmines.
Oh, God.
There's Marshall settling under that ball. Holy shit. Now, I must explain. The only reason I mention baseball, basketball, and football is because, to my way of thinking, these are really the only three sports we have. Nothing else qualifies as a sport, according to me. Everything else is a game or an activity. Hockey comes to mind. People think hockey is a sport. Hockey is not a sport. Hockey is three activities going on at the same time. Ice skating, playing with a puck, and beating the shit out of somebody.
I don't know. I don't agree with them. I feel like hockey, if anything, that's a sport. Because, motherfucker, it's basically like soccer with sticks, but you can beat the fuck out of each other. Like, come on. Like, more sports need to have a section where you can just go one-on-one and be like, fuck it, let's beat the shit out of each other. And hockey gives you that. It gives you that. It's like, it's hard to understand, like, for someone that I've never played hockey, so it's hard for me to understand, but I know what a goal is and shit like that. And I know a fight when I see a fucking fight. But, I mean, does it really matter what's a sport and what's not a sport, If it's entertaining, it's entertaining. That's how I feel.
Now, if these guys were intelligent at all, they would do these things one at a time. First you go ice skating, then you play with a puck, then you go to the bar and beat the shit out of somebody. The day would last a lot longer, and these guys would have a whole lot more fun. Tell you another reason hockey is not a sport. It's not played with a ball. Anything that isn't played with a ball can't be a sport. These are my rules. I make them up. Hockey is played with a puck. What is a puck? I never even heard of a puck outside of hockey. Have you ever heard of a puck? The only other place you find a puck is in the urinal to control the smell in the bathroom. All right?
Yeah, that's funny.
And as far as I'm concerned, any game where the main object is something that came out of a urinal is definitely not a sport. Soccer is not a sport because you can't use your arms. Anything where you can't use your arms can't be a sport. Tap dancing isn't a sport. I rest my case. Another thing I don't like about soccer, they got dots on the ball. That's a big rule of mine. No goddamn dots on the ball. Running. People think running is a sport. Running isn't a sport because anyone can do it. Anything we can all do can't be a sport. I can run, you can run. My mother can run. You don't see her on the cover of Sports Illustrated, do you? Mm-hmm. People say, I'm going to run down to the store and buy a loaf of bread. Fine. It's not a goddamn sport.
Shit. Tell that to Usain Bolt. That bitch is quick as fuck. Anybody can run, but nobody can do it. Well, very few people can do it at a level like Usain Bolt. Not greater than him, but maybe a little lesser than him. Because that motherfucker is quick as shit.
I'm not going to pay to watch you buy a fucking loaf of bread. Swimming. Swimming isn't a sport. Swimming is a way to keep from drowning. That's common sense.
Not wrong. Swimming seems hard, though.
Sailing isn't a sport. Sailing is a way to get somewhere.
Like, right? as a sport. Not like swim. I can swim, motherfucker. I'm not that stereotype. I'm part black. I can swim. But swimming, doing laps and shit, I feel like it'd be very tiring.
A bus isn't a sport. Why the fuck should sailing be a sport? Boxing is not a sport. Boxing is a way to beat the shit out of somebody. In that respect, boxing is a more sophisticated form of hockey. But beating the shit out of somebody is not a sport, in spite of what the police think. When police brutality becomes an Olympic event, fine, then boxing can be a sport. Bowling isn't a sport because you have to rent the shoes. Don't forget my rules, I make them up. Billiards is not a sport because there's no chance for serious injuries. Unless you welch on a bet in a tough neighborhood. Then if you see a guy with a pool cue sticking out of his ass, you know that might be a sports-related injury. But that's not billiards, that's pool. And that starts with a P and that rhymes with D, and that brings me to darts. Now, darts could be a sport because you might put somebody's eye out.
Yeah.
But darts will never be a sport because the whole object is to reach zero, which goes against all sports logic. Lacrosse is not a sport. Lacrosse is a faggot college activity.
Damn. Bro, I don't get lacrosse either. Can you beat the fuck out of people in lacrosse? I don't remember. I know you can check them and shit like that, but bro, going back to darts, I seen motherfuckers on like my story and shit back in college. These motherfuckers put their hand up, throw these bitches with their hand on the fucking board. Oh my god, bro. And one of them stuck, and I ain't watched the rest of the video, but that shit, if you do that, you're a different breed. You're a different everything. You're different.
Sorry about that. That's right. Anytime you're standing in a field with a stick with a net on the end of it, you're engaged in a faggot college activity. Same thing goes for field hockey and fencing. These things aren't sports, but you can't gamble on them. Anything you can't gamble on can't be a sport. When was the last time you made a fucking fencing bet?
I think fencing would be cool.
Gymnastics is not a sport because Romanians are good at it. Took me a long time to come up with that rule, but I thought of one. Polo isn't a sport. Polo is golf on horseback. It's a great concept, but it's not a sport. And water polo, I don't even want to mention water polo because it's extremely cruel to the horses. Which brings me to hunting. You think hunting's a sport? Ask the deer. The only thing good about hunting is the many accidents on the weekends. Which brings me to auto racing. Now we're talking serious goddamn injuries, folks. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm looking for in auto racing. A nice crash and a car fire. I don't care who wins these races. It's the same 5 rednecks who win all the time anyway. Who gives a shit about these people? I gotta be honest with you. Listen. I gotta be honest. Driving 500 miles in a circle does not impress me. I'm looking for an accident. Let me put it this way. When else am I going to see a 26-car collision and not be in the goddamn thing? Then we have tennis. Now, tennis, very trendy, not a sport. Tennis is a form of ping pong. In fact, tennis is ping pong played while standing on the table.
It really is. Like, every time I'm playing ping pong, I'm like, this is just tennis. Just a small version of tennis. Why do we not call this mini tennis? This is literally what it is. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know? You're doing the same exact shit. Just on a little board. It's mini tennis. You can't tell me any otherwise. It's mini tennis. No longer ping pong.
You know? Great idea, but it's not a sport. In fact, all racket games are nothing but derivatives of ping pong. Even volleyball is racketless team ping pong played with an inflated ball and a raised net while standing on the table.
Low key.
Then finally we come to golf. Do you ever watch golf on TV? It's like watching flies fuck. I get more excited picking out socks.
Damn.
Golf could be fun if you could play alone, but it's these genetic defectives that you have to hang around with that makes it such a boring pastime. Think of the brains that it takes to play golf. Hitting a ball with a crooked stick and then walking after it. And then
It's kind of goofy.
hitting it again. I say, pick it up, asshole. You're lucky you found it. Put it in your pocket and go the fuck home, will ya? Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, bro. I never got into golf. I don't understand it, man. I just really don't. But people play it. A lot of money in it. You know? But like always, man. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments down below. And say what's up. Say what you want to say what's on your mind. Like always. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I will see y'all later. Peace.